Alright, good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today I'm going to be covering the new Tier 10 Pan-Asian Heavy Cruiser. It's a premium Incheon. Okay. So I actually have to scroll up and actually find out what Incheon's available for, because they always list it here, and I don't remember them on the top of my head. But, look. Incheon will be available in a returning Wishing Wharf event in a ship's group, it says. The group itself has a 3.25% chance to drop Incheon, Yat-Sen, Fenyang. Oh, it's random luck RNG to get it? I guess that's the only way to get it. Random luck RNG. Oh no! That's not good. It's actually a 3.25% chance to get it or Yat-Sen or... Oh, wow. So, okay. So, it's pretty hard to get unless you have all of those. The ships, the other ships that they mention in this, so there's around 6 ships, I think. They're all Pan-Asian. Let's read off one by one here in this group of the 3.25%. If I can find it again, because I just lost it. So, it's Incheon. I actually lost it. Oh, it's Incheon 1, Yat-Sen 2, Fenyang 3, Siliwangi 4, Irian 5, Loyang 6, and Anshan 7. So it'll be in that group, and it's 3.25% chance to drop one of those. So I guess, you know, every time... Well, that means it's very hard to get, unless you have all the other ones, or you just buy a lot of them. So let's take a look at the armor layout for this ship. This is a Tier 10 heavy cruiser. As you can see, it looks similar to something like Buffalo. 25mm nose armor, 30 center armor and deck armor, and 25 aft. So it has worse armor than Des Moines. That's kind of similar to Buffalo armor. I think Buffalo actually has worse center armor. We're to take a look here at Buffalo, because they are the same class of ship. Let's take a look. See here. Well, Buffalo actually has better nose armor, but worse deck and side armor, which is pretty interesting. I guess it's that case because, well, Incheon does get the smoke screen, I guess. But let's take a look at everything it does get. The Citadel, by the way, if you're wondering, does sit well above the water, similar to something like Buffalo. Very easy to hit, so you have to be very careful on how you play this ship in the open, especially. Alright, so for my commander build, I have grease the gears, gun feeder, fill the tubes, adrenaline rush, superintendent, survivability expert, concealment expert, and top grade gunner. For equipment, I'm running reload mod, concealment system mod 1, prop mod 1, aiming system mod 1, engine room protection, and main armaments mod 1. For the exterior, camouflage. Some of you may be disappointed, unfortunately, including myself. Another single color camouflage. Unfortunate. Quite sad to see. You know, this has been a trend for a long time. But, you know, I guess it's just gonna keep being a trend, and that's it's not really understandable, actually. It's pretty disappointing. Ships like, for example, Buffalo. Well, I have the space camo on it. Ships like Buffalo have a really nice permanent camo, which may not be historically accurate, because guess what? Buffalo was never built. But I think it's appreciated to have some unique camouflage design. I know this is like not about the ship, guys, but I know a lot of you also like having some nice camouflages. And I'm sure some of you also like the navy gray. I think it's cool as well. But I wish we had an option to use navy gray and design. It does say Incheon in Korean. The ship is South Korean, so it does say Incheon in Korean on the back of the ship there. And for those of you wondering how have I enabled the Korean flag, you click, basically, you're gonna click camos, exterior, you click the flags. Down here, you're gonna have naval flags. It might be open, it might be closed. Yours is probably gonna be set to the dragon. You can switch it to the Republic of Korea Navy flag. Up to you, of course. Let's take a look at the ship characteristics right now. We got 55,800 HP, 16% torpedo protection damage reduction. We've got 4.8 second gun reload with 8 guns, 203 millimeters. These are, I believe, Des Moines guns. So they do have the heavy AP, the Des Moines heavy AP. But you do get 4.8 second reload, but you only get 8 guns on that. So if we actually take a look at Des Moines reload with, well, this is with unique upgrade. So actually, let's take a look at it with reload mod, like Salem, for example. 4.8. So pretty much slightly similar DPM. You do have worse DPM on this one though, because you do have that one less barrel. Keep that in mind. You got 16-1 range, which is actually, is it more? I don't know them by heart, man. Oh, it is 0.3 more than Salem and the Moy. For torpedoes, we've got 13.5 kilometer torps, standard Loyang torpedoes here, guys. The usual 13.5. We do have 34.7 knots, 8.3 second rudder shift, and a concealment of 11.2, which is actually 0.3 kilometers worse than the Moy and Salem. For equipment, for our consumables, we got heal, standard heal. We've got torpedo reload booster for our torpedoes. We've got defensive fire, consumable, and we've got smoke screen, and we got DCP. We've got the Pan-Asian smoke screens, which are very good, some of my favorite smoke screens in the game. And, well, it's forced DFA, so we're not going to be having hydro, which I guess you do get the smoke screen in this case. So it's similar to Jinan in terms of, well, if you're in the smoke, you need to be pre-angled to known destroyers, because, well, you don't have hydro as a preemptive to, like, see for you. But I think we should go into the game in the Incheon. Alright, here we are on Crash Zone Alpha in the Incheon, the new tier 10 Korean, South Korean ship. By the way, I think Incheon, in general, I mean, I think it looks cool. I wish it did have a permanent camo. I think the navy gray is okay too, but I still would prefer having a camo. But I think the hull design of the Buffalo class, or, well, of course they weren't built, but I think it looks really cool. It looks like a big Atlanta, and the superstructure is like a big Cleveland, you know? I think they look pretty cool. But of course it doesn't have the 12 guns. Unfortunately, it doesn't have 12 guns, guys. Could you imagine if it had 12 Des Moines guns, which shoot every 4.8 seconds? That would be really cool, right? Anyway. So I'm gonna move towards the... Well, that would be like Illinois, actually, but with a 4-second reload. That would be pretty cool. But anyway, we're moving towards the capture point here, closer. We do have smoke screens, so we can play a bit more aggressive into caps. But one thing you have to keep in mind is you don't have hydro. I talked about this in port, which means you need to kind of be careful about getting torped. Very careful, please. And also, you don't have radar or hydro. That's important to mention. But more importantly is... your smoke firing is actually pretty bad, 8.5 kilometers. For most smoke cruisers, it sits around 6. But in this case, we have a bigger caliber gun, so I assume that is why it has worse smoke detection. Sorry. We're getting torped by a submarine. I think we should gamer turn here since it's just a Bismarck. I don't think it's gonna be too big of a threat. So I'm gonna try pop a gamer turn here. I'm actually gonna DCP. It might be a bit early here. I don't think so. I think we can get out of here. We can't actually gamer turn because we're actually playing very aggressive. But unfortunately, we can't smoke up into the Bismarck because we don't have enough gun range. Here's our super heavy Des Moines AP getting a good citadel there, unfortunately. We're playing really well. Okay, we have to pop smoke, guys. The submarine's holding us hostage, so we have to pop smoke. I'm playing very egotistical here because I really want to kill this Jarsfeld because he's kind of gifting. But I'm also kind of gifting to the Bismarck in the meantime. But that's okay. We got a kill. Bigger problems on the way is the submarine has torped us. We don't have an engine. We are pinged. Our life is over. What all I can say is maybe we can power turn and his homing will run out in time. It looks like it has, to be honest. Now, we have played the start of this game really badly, guys. And, you know, sometimes we do this. Because we do that. Because, you know, it's live commentary gameplay, guys. So sometimes I'm not gonna play perfectly. Okay. I have to say, I have played the ship a bit before recording. You know, it's okay. I think it's okay ship. I think you can do pretty well in it overall because you got smoke and Des Moines guns. But in terms of like actual solid fun gameplay, like I'd rather just play like Des Moines or Salem. You know what I mean? Now, for those of you who want a Des Moines with smoke and no radar and no hydro, well, this is probably a good version of that. That's maybe what you want, you know? It reminds me of something like Rochester at tier 8, where you have the smoke screen and the Baltimore guns, right? So you get a mix of both. In this case, you've got the Des Moines guns, except you only got 8 instead of 9. But you've got deep water torps as well. But you really don't have hydro. So in terms of sitting in smoke screen and stuff, you do need to be really cautious. And more importantly is, when you don't have hydro or radar, but you have smoke, it's kind of hard to support your team a bit early on. Unless you have screening in front of you. In this case, we have a Z42 screening for us. But we're lucky there's also no destroyer on this flank, realistically, because if there was, we'd have a really hard time here. I actually want to pop a smoke screen here, guys, and probably torp this gap here with the TRB. Let's see what we can do. I don't think we're going to be able to get much damage here. Come on. Boom. We'll torp the gap there and see how much damage we can start outputting on these two. The submarine is in the general area, though, so I'm a bit scared of him. But our submarine has used submarine surveillance, and he's not underwater, but he could be on the surface. Now, as I said, my smoke shooting is pretty bad, 8.5. So, in terms of getting up close really early on, I don't recommend it in this ship, even though you have smoke screen. You shouldn't get too close to a capture point, because look at the circle on the mini-map. That's how big our smoke firing detection penalty is. And in an early game situation where you're going to get spotted very early on, you're going to have a lot of eyes shooting you. I talked about it in the armor section. You do have worse nose armor than Des Moines. And you even have worse nose armor than Buffalo, you have to keep in mind. You have 25 instead of 27. You still do get the 30mm deck and side armor Des Moines has, so that's of course better than a Buffalo at tier below. But you have to keep in mind your nose armor is very weak, and it gets overmatched by 380s. In this case, this Bismarck does overmatch my nose and aft, so we need to be really careful. The submarine, unfortunately, has torped our smoke screen, but that's okay. I'm gonna get spotted here in front of two ships that overmatch me, but that's okay. We're gonna try to angle best as possible. Hopefully, they'll hit my 30mm armor. In the case of fighting a Bismarck and a Wujing, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a problem. But in the case of fighting a Colombo, remember, Colombo does overmatch 25 with SAP as well as AP. So if you're nose in or aft in, he doesn't really care. Now in Des Moines, you're still gonna get punished as well, don't get me wrong. But at least Des Moines has that 27mm nose. So it can at least, you know, not get one like smashed, you know, like super smashed. It still gets smashed realistically, but in this case, you're gonna get even smashed even harder. But in terms of like fun level, I do have to say, now this could be a controversial opinion. Uh-oh. Hold your seats. I don't know the expression. I've forgotten. To be honest, it's really late right now, and I can't really think. Hold your horses. There you go. That's the one. Potential controversial opinion incoming. But I don't care because it's my opinion. It's not that fun to play for me. I'd rather play a Des Moines. I'd rather play Taylor. Because I'd rather have hydro and or radar than smoke. In this situation, in most situations, actually. Especially when it comes to winning games. At least playing solo. Having no radar, having no hydro is awful. But at the same time, of course, you have the ability to go and smoke. And the smokes are really good. The smokes are really good. They are the Yu Yang, Jinan smokes, Pan Asian smokes are very good. But, like I said, I don't know. I like having radar, especially when it comes to late game sometimes. Now, of course, smoke screen. That doesn't mean smoke screen's useless, guys. That's all I'm saying. But like having a radar to counter a destroyer late game would be way more important than having nothing. Actually, not even hydro, funnily enough.
Problem solved, sir.
Is he gonna blind fire me? No, no. Good. Good. He's gonna go for the Z. I'm a bit worried about the submarine. Oh, yeah, that's a problem. The blind ping. Because now they're gonna home into me. And I might actually just die here, to be honest. Yep, they're super homing into me. I might be dead, guys. But here you go. Another weakness of the Incheon. Submarines! You have no hydro. But in this case, they were spotted. I don't think it's gonna matter that they were spotted or not. Okay, we were lucky we only ate 2 torps. But they can just re-torp us, so it doesn't really matter. Luckily, we are dark. Up to 167k damage, though. Overall, Incheon is a good ship. I would say the problem with it, one, is the price of the ship. It's literally random RNG drops. Basically, gambling at this point. 3.25% for 6 ships, not just Incheon. It's not 3.25% just to get Incheon. You might actually just get unlucky if you don't have the other ships and get the other ships. This is why it's always good to never sell premium ships, guys. No matter how tempting it is if you're not going to play them. Because when a thing like this comes out, well, imagine you sold those premiums. You might actually just roll those premiums first before Incheon. Now, that's, I would say, one of the main issues of the Incheon is the price. Now, if any of you are wondering if it's going to be available in a future event or is it going to come back, I don't know.
Direct front. Torpedoes
I have no idea. They have told us literally nothing. And you know, I don't want to speculate because I have no idea. So I can't tell you, oh, it's guaranteed coming back for coal. Oh, it's guaranteed coming back for something. Because I don't think it's true. I don't know what it's coming for in the future. If ever again. You never know. You know? So, taking that into account, if it's only available for this event, similar to how, I guess, Rhode Island was. Maybe they re-release it in Christmas crates. You never know. They could. It's just too much RNG for me to recommend the ship. I think you can just play Des Moines or Salem for free. Now, you won't have the smoke screen, guys. But I think you can achieve similar results if you're kind of competent at the game. Plus, you can honestly have more team playability having that radar and hydro combination. Or in the case of Salem, having a hydro or radar and then having a super heal on top of that. So, I think that's more personally my style. Now, it's of course going to depend on you because I know a lot of people like smoke ships and like Smolensk or Jinan, or especially Jinan nowadays. Jinan's extremely good. I would say Jinan, I mean, it's not really the same because you don't have the big APs here. You don't have the big guns that Incheon gets. But you have way more DPM. And, you know, you're stealthier. You have way more torps. It's a different playstyle, I guess. It's similar, though, at the same time, you know? Personally, I actually rather play, I think, Jinan. Because Jinan's probably, to be honest, is kind of overpowered right now. But, yeah, I don't know. This ship's good, don't get me wrong. But it's very hard to recommend, especially for the price it's available for. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I wanted to say about this video regardless. But yeah, so it's a good ship. The problem is the price. I think it's just too RNG and too random to recommend the price. But if you're rich as fuck, you know, I mean, if you're rich as fuck in real life, who am I to tell you not to buy things you want to buy, you know? That's what I always say. But if you don't have enough money, or if you literally have to pick between eating this week or buying Incheon, guys, if that is your choice, you should probably buy food and not Incheon, I think. You know, if you literally need money to survive, to buy groceries, but you're gonna choose instead to get an Incheon, I don't think you should. I think you should buy the groceries and focus on that, you know? Maybe Incheon comes in the future. Maybe you'll be in a better financial situation in the future. You know, give it a break for now. But if you're rich as fuck and you're gonna buy it anyway, regardless of the review, it's a good ship. It can be fun. It's not for me as fun as Salem and Des Moines, but it can be fun. You know, having smoke with Des Moines guns, it's like having a smoke bot with your Des Moines, right? But you don't have hydro, you don't have radar, your smoke firing's not the best. So that's kind of it, really. I think I've summarized the ship overall. I'm only gonna feature one game today. I'm very tired. I'm recording this video very late, and it's live commentary. But yeah, that's pretty much the Incheon overall. I think we should take a look at the score screen, post-game score screen. Alright, so we ended up doing 200k damage, 306 shell hits, 1 kill, 4 citadels, 8 fires, first blood and high caliber. Team score, we got top of our team, 2.1k base XP, not too bad overall. Detailed report, got 27k on the Jarsfeld at the start of the game, 70k on the Wujing, 58k on the Bismarck, 24k on the Yoshino, and 18k on the Audacious. Most of our damage came from HE. Some of it from AP. You could probably do more AP damage most games if you had more broadsides. Of course, this is Des Moines AP. You can do a lot of damage with that. But it's good to switch ammo types overall. If you're fighting angle targets, definitely shoot HE. If you're fighting, well, bow-in targets, oh, sorry, broadside targets, then of course you can use AP. Damage received, 59k. This was the credits and XP. For my commander build, we have Grease the Gears, Gun Feeder, Fill the Tubes, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, and Top Grade Gunner. For my equipment, I have Main Battery Mod 3, which is Reload Mod, Concealment System Mod 1, Prop Mod 1, Aiming System Mod 1, Engine Room Protection, and Main Armaments Mod 1. And that's pretty much it for the Incheon, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. What do I think of the Incheon, and what do I recommend it to you guys or not? Taking the price into account, this is very important. Taking the price into the account, being a random RNG gambling loot box drop thing. No, of course, I don't recommend you get the Incheon. Does that mean it's a bad ship? No, it's quite a good ship. As you saw from the game, you can get good damage because you have smoke, you have the mine guns, you can do pretty well. But that doesn't mean I have to recommend the ship to you guys, even though it's good. You know, this has happened a few times where I tell you guys the ship's pretty good, but I don't recommend it because of the price, you know. In this case, the ship's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like game breaking. I think it's pretty good. But I think it's not really worth it for the price point it sits at, which is, well, it depends on your luck. I can't give you an exact dollar figure because it really does depend on your luck. Some of you guys might spend only 1 crate and instantly get it. But some of you guys might buy 200 crates and not get it. You never know. So, or more. So, or I don't know if it's crates. It says a Wishing Wharf event, 3.25% drop. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I assume it's crates. Unfortunately, they don't give us infinite details on everything. So I'm having to basically guess what the price is as well, because they don't exactly tell us anything except for what I told you at the start of the video. But yeah, no. If you have infinite money though and you wanted the ship anyway, I mean, guys, I mean, do whatever you want, you know. But like, otherwise, I don't think you should get the ship. I think you can just play Des Moines, Salem, or if you want to play a smoke cruiser, play Jinan. Of course, Jinan doesn't have big enough guns like this one, but you have some other benefits to it anyway. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please, if you can, help me out a lot, guys. Leave a like or a sub to the channel. Guys, more than 60, I think, % of you are unsubscribed to the channel that's watching the channel. It would help me out a lot. It's free to subscribe, guys. It will help me out a lot if you just subscribe to the channel. You don't have to, but it would help me out a lot. And one more thing that you can do, but you don't have to do, is for $1 a month, you can get a super container mission in game if you have your account linked, your wargaming account to your YouTube account. And realistically, well, you don't have to do it, but it does help me out directly. It's the join button next to the subscribe button. It's $1 a month. You could pay more, but you don't have to, and you don't have to even pay the $1, guys. Okay, the channel's available for free, you know. So even you just watching is enough for me. But I would greatly appreciate it if you join, or if you don't join, at least subscribe to the channel, because it's. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Big fan. Let me know what you think of the Incheon and what ship you want to see next. Big fan.